Patriots get ready to take the ball. The Ravens won the toss and deferred. Bill Belichick, John Harbaugh, and here we go. A big Week 3 game that will start with a touchback. And let's take a look at the Patriot offensive starters.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
Stephen Ridley, Louisiana State University.
Brandon Lloyd, Illinois.
Wes Welker, Texas Tech.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Rob Gronkowski, University of Arizona.
Nate Solder, Colorado.
Logan Mankins, Fresno State.
Ryan Wendell, Fresno State.
Dan Connolly, Southeast Missouri.
Sebastian Ballman, University of Houston.
Guys up front trying to provide the protection that Brady will need tonight. Patriots started the season with an easy win at Tennessee and then were shocked by Arizona in Foxborough last Sunday. And Brady will go right to the air on first down and then throws, and that will be a first down as he completes it to Brandon Lloyd, one of the new Patriots. Will the Patriots go no huddle? And the answer immediately is yes, as they come up to the line of scrimmage as soon as they spot the ball at the 32-yard line. Three receivers set to the right. Brady out of the shotgun. Fakes the inside give and then shoots it out here to Edelman, and he will get he'll get stopped as the whistle blows. Ed Reed was able to stop his forward progress despite breaking away. No gain on the play.
Well, there's probably nobody that understands the game better than that guy right there. He sees the trips formation over there and basically beats the ball out there to Julian Edelman to stop a little momentum for Tom Brady.
Ball at the 31-yard line. They go 5 wide here. Patriots use a lot of empty backfield. And Brady was not ready for the snap, and the ball is loose at the 28-yard line. And the Patriots have recovered. So Brady not ready for the snap from Ryan Wendell, and it will be 3rd and long.
Nice play by Wes Welker to figure that thing out. And there you go. Brady was up trying to audible, and he discovered what we did in our opening on camera. Kind of hard to hear. Ryan Wendell snapped it when Brady was about 3 feet from him.
This stadium is a complete wall of noise at the 28-yard line. Danny Woodhead is in the backfield with Brady on 3rd and 14. Here comes the blitz. Brady hangs in the pocket, but goes down at the 19-yard line. Dannell Ellerbe, fourth-year linebacker out of Georgia. So a great start for the Raven defense after Brady completes his first pass of the night.
This thing was actually picked up pretty well initially. There was just nobody open, and then Ellerbe came off late to get the sack, and here we go. This place is nuts right now.
Jacoby Jones is back to accept the kick off the foot of Zoltan Mesko. And the Romanian-born kicker with a beauty fielded at the 26-yard line. The former Texan Jones comes up the middle and brings it back to the 44-yard line. So the Ravens will start near midfield. Early first quarter, no score in Baltimore. From the 44 on first down, this is Ray Rice who gets tripped up as he works to the outside, to the left side. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Joe Flacco, who started as a rookie 4 years ago, last 13 starts after a loss. Look at that. 19 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. So the Ravens, as I mentioned at the top, haven't lost 2 games in a row in almost 3 years. They are good at rebounding as they try to be tonight. And Rice through the middle picks up about a yard. So Ray Rice carrying twice on the first 2 plays. And it will be 3rd down and 6.
It's kind of an interesting look for the Baltimore Ravens, of course, doing a lot more of the no-huddle stuff this year than they have in the past. But they sort of have the Ray Rice dilemma. You know, here's a guy, a superstar player in Rice, but they also want to get this hurry-up going with Joe Flacco and open up the offense with some of their speed outside. So feeling their way through this offense.
3rd down and 6. Rice and every down back stays in, and the pass is caught, but it's going to be short of the first down as Anquan Bolden makes the catch. Kyle Arrington shadowing him and making the stop. And they'll be a yard shy. It'll be 4th down and 1.
Right there, going to try and get a little pick underneath Bolden's going to make the catch and just come up barely short, and I think the Ravens know what kind of game this is going to be. They're going to punt it away early.
Good play by Arrington to force the punt. Sam Cook will send it toward the end zone with Wes Welker back to return the kick for New England. And Cook very adept at getting the ball inside the 20 and pinning the opposition, but this one bounces backward, takes a New England bounce. A little skirmish breaks out. Seen plenty of those through the first 3 weeks this season. And New England will have the ball for the second time as Brady leads the offense back out onto the field in Baltimore. Each team has had the ball once in the first 4 minutes and 11 seconds. This drive starts at the 10-yard line. Danny Woodhead is in the backfield. That's Lloyd setting up on the left in the slot. Pass goes to the outside. Edelman makes the catch. Picks up about 8 to the 18-yard line.
Let's go back. We talk about good sacks sometimes. Watch Kruger right here is going to try and funnel the route in here. Then you're going to see the bullet, Ed Reed, come underneath in this trap defense. Would have been an interception if Brady had thrown it. Good job taking the sack.
Second down and 3. Here goes Woodhead to the outside. Cannot turn the corner. They're able to seal the edge. Haloti Ngata making the play. Speaking of sealing the edge, it's been tough for the Ravens because Terrell Suggs, the great linebacker, is out at least until the end of October, early November, and Jared Johnson left and went to San Diego. 3rd and 1. Going no huddle all the way. They hand the ball off this time, and with that second effort, Danny Woodhead gets across the 20 and moves the chains.
Yeah, it looked like Mayaki Kemoatu had a shot at him in the backfield, but Woodhead just kept himself going, and Bill Belichick, we know a little something about 4th and 1s with him. That night in Indy, that was something.
That was a 4th and 2 from the 21-yard line. Off the play fake, a ton of time, and then going deep down the sideline to Wes Welker. And Welker is all the way to the 20-yard line. Bernard Pollard chasing him down. So Tom Brady to Welker, and of course it was quite the story in New England all week long about Welker not starting last week. Well, he starts tonight with a 59-yard reception.
Well, we got an out and up on the outside, and the corner outside followed the inside receiver, and the Ravens lucky that didn't turn into 6 points.
From the 20 now, Ridley. Stephen Ridley, who's taken over as their primary back, the second-year back out of LSU. He came on and it made Ben Jarvis Green Ellis expendable, and he went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, the one thing about Stephen Ridley is giving them an outside presence that they really didn't have. Got some big plays in the opener, rushing for 125 yards. They think he really adds an element to this offense.
2nd and 10. Brady this time setting up under center with Ridley behind him. That's about the only way you can communicate in this ballpark right now. And Ridley tries to get to the outside and turns what would have been a loss. Ladarius Webb was blitzing on a run blitz, came in, got him in the backfield, but then Ridley's able to propel forward in another skirmish.
The referee's going to have to get this thing under control tonight. That has been an issue, and at some point, if I were a replacement referee, I'd start throwing some flags to get this thing settled down. Darius Webb, who's about 185 pounds a man, I think is one of the best players in all the National Football League. Top cover guy, remarkable tackler for somebody that small.
Gets lost in the shadows of guys like Lewis and Reed and Ngata. 3rd and 9, and the pass over the middle. Edelman can't make the catch. Reached up. Reed was right there to make sure he didn't haul it in, and the Patriots will have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Well, I think Edelman was losing this ball as he went, but Ed Reed was there to make sure he didn't double catch that thing. Reed was a good 20 yards from him when that ball was thrown. A little shot to the head, too. A little bit with the forearm right to the face. No call.
No flags yet in the game. Steven Gostkowski, who missed the 42-yarder that would have won the Arizona game. This from 37 yards, and that one is just inside the left upright. So the field goal set up at the 59-yard catch and run by Welker, and it's 3-0 Pats. Inner Harbor, Baltimore, and happy birthday to one John Harbaugh, who is 50 years old today. So I see him coming into the stadium. Hey, happy birthday. He said, how did you know? I said, you trying to get the sun past a rooster? You know what our crew is like? Are you kidding me? Come on.
You never miss anything, right?
Well,
he's a good man, though. How about his success so far here? Comes in and wins a playoff game the last 4 years. Pretty remarkable.
Right, his brother Jim, his 49ers upset at Minnesota earlier today. The kickoff will be taken at the 2-yard line by Thompson. Deontay Thompson to the outside and gets taken down at the 25-yard line. Bill Belichick going over things with Brady and Welker. Patriots defense last year, despite going to the Super Bowl, next to last in the league, allowing 411 yards per game. Much better so far this season. And of course, one of the things they did in the draft is they went right to defense. Their first 6 picks, including their 2 first-round picks, all came from that side of the ball. Now the Ravens from the 24-yard line, halfway through the opening quarter, 3-0 New England. Fake to Rice, that buys time, and then it's intercepted. Picked off by Steve Gregory, the former San Diego Charger, one of the additions to shore up that defense, and he will set them up with a 1st and goal. And now you've got a situation where they're going to have to start throwing some flags. Again, more than a skirmish.
All you got to do, Al, is throw your flag straight up in the air at this point. Everybody settles down.
Right.
Put the ball down, mark the ball, mark off some penalties. If they don't do it pretty soon, this game's going to get out of control. There's been 6 skirmishes already, and we're even halfway through the third quarter or first quarter.
We haven't had a single flag thrown tonight.
Right here. The plan for the Baltimore Ravens tonight was to throw play action. They thought the focus would be on Ray Rice. They could go play action on early downs, try and throw it between the linebackers and the safeties. That time simply overthrown, and Gregory took advantage.
Tried to get into the tight end, Dennis Pitta. So it's 1st and goal now from the 6-yard line. And it's a quick toss out to the right side and incomplete. Crowd thought it might have been a backward pass, but it was not. Forward pass, Brandon Lloyd, the intended receiver. Ladarius Webb picked the ball up, but after it had passed the line of scrimmage, 2nd down.
Yeah, Brady really threw this forward, which caused the incompletion as much as anything. I think Lloyd was looking for it to come more right on him. The reason Brady went to that hot throw is they had a blitzing inside backer he couldn't account for, just rose up and threw it hot. 2nd
down and goal. Brandon Bolden, a rookie, is in the backfield. He goes out into the pattern. The pass goes to the left side to Ho'omana Wanui, who makes the catch and takes it to the 2-yard line. So he's one of the tight ends, and we'll just call him Michael for the moment, that's going to help supplant Aaron Hernandez.
Boy, they are firing all their bullets out here. Ray Lewis was coming hard after Brady on that one.
3rd down and goal now. And the handoff to the rookie Bolden out of Mississippi, and he is into the end zone. Brandon Bolden, a free agent rookie, into the end zone for the first touchdown of the night.
Big Logan Mankins, back from injury, is starting to look like he's coming back to form. Taking on the inside linebacker on that one, Donnell Ellerbe, and just took everybody back into the end zone. Kind of interesting that Brandon Bolden, undrafted, getting an opportunity to come out and score the touchdown. Belichick's feeling was, if you can rack up yards in the SEC, you can do it here.
Gostowski for the extra point. So the interception sets up the touchdown after a 1st and goal at the 6. And with 7:09 to go in the quarter, the Patriots lead the Ravens 10-0. So after a loss, the Patriots since 2000 under Bill Belichick, 36-14. No team in the league has been better. And then there's the Ravens under John Harbaugh, 16-4 with 13 straight wins following a loss. But they lost last week in Philadelphia, and tonight they're going to have to come from behind. They're already down 10-0. Bill Belichick, hard to believe, been in the coaching ranks now for 36 years in the National Football League.
Started right here, right?
Yep, in Baltimore as a $25 a week assistant under Ted Marchibroda, 22 after taxes.
He emphasized that.
Yes, he did. Gostowski to kick off. 2 yards into the end zone, Deontay Thompson. And Thompson will get caught from behind, but not before he takes it out to the 33-yard line. And that's Bolden who scored the touchdown, making the tackle. Let's take a look at the Ravens offense here.
Joe Flacco, University of Delaware.
Ray Rice, Rutgers University.
Fonte Lee, East Carolina.
Torrey Smith, Maryland.
Anquan Bolden, Florida State University.
Dennis Pitta, BYU.
Michael Ward, University of Ole Miss.
Ramon Harewood, Morehouse College.
Matt Burke, Harvard.
Marshall Yonda, Iowa.
Coleccio Assembly, Iowa State.
Burke, 15th year in the league, the center, longtime Viking out of Harvard, and the one-handed grab is made by Ed Dixon to the 34-yard line. Let's take a look at the Pats defense.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue University.
Vince Wilfork, University of Miami.
Kyle Love, Mississippi State.
Chandler Jones, Syracuse University.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Brandon Spikes, Florida.
Gerard Mayo, Tennessee.
Devin McCourty, Rutgers.
Patrick Chung, Oregon.
Steve Gregory, Syracuse University. Kyle Arrington, Glen Park High School.
And the Steve Gregory who made the interception. Arrington also made that stop on a 3rd and 6 that forced the punt earlier. Here's Rice taking the ball up to the 38-yard line where Ninkovich makes the tackle.
Well, a little bit of back to the future for the New England Patriots defensively. They're back playing that 4-3 and 2 deep safeties and basically saying our guys up front are better than your guys. We're not going to give you any help against the run despite Ray Rice being back there. As long as they can stop the run with those 7, it's going to be a good night for the Pats.
Rice comes out now on 3rd down. Dixon in the backfield. They send him in the pattern. 3rd and 5. Flacco moving to his right, finding time, and the pass is caught, but short of the 1st down again as Ed Dixon makes the catch. It's another 4th down, and in comes the punting unit.
Well, this is a young offensive line, but they got their job done this time, but there was nobody open down the field. I mean, he has a good while to stare at it and really nowhere to go. So once again, Ravens unable to get those 1st downs on the first series, and that kills a no-huddle offense. That just puts a lot of pressure on your defense.
Sam Cook for his 2nd punt of the night. Julian Edelman is back. Edelman backs up to the 7-yard line. Down the sideline he goes, and finally there's a flag almost 10 minutes into the game. That's the first penalty of the night from Bruce Hermanson's crew. Hermanson, an official for 37 years in Division II college football.
Ain't Division II anymore.
No. Sooner or later.
Block in the back. On the return team. During the return, number 90, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Niko Kudovic, who was recently re-signed. So Tom Brady in his 13th year. Take a look at some of these numbers against the Ravens in the regular season. 4-0, despite the a modest statistical line there. Postseason 1-1, lost in Foxborough after the 09 season, and then beat them in the AFC Championship game last year, sending the Patriots to the Super Bowl. So New England, with 5:02 to go in the opening quarter, begins this drive at the 10-yard line. Stephen Ridley back in the game in the backfield after Brandon Bolden rushed into the end zone on the last drive. Welker comes in motion to the right side. They switch up on defense. And Brady flings it way over the head of Welker. 2nd down. Let's take a look at the Baltimore D.
Tingata, Oregon.
Maake Kemoeatu, Utah. Pernell McPhee, Pahokee, Florida, Mississippi State.
Paul Kruger, University of Utah.
Ray Lewis, University of Miami.
Jamel McClain, Syracuse University. Albert McClellan, Kathleen High School.
Darius Webb, Nicholls State University.
Bernard Pollard, the Boilermakers.
Ed Reed, the U.
Kerry Williams, Washburn.
Lewis and Reed, of course, the mainstays for so many years to the 13-yard line. Nada makes the tackle on Ridley, setting up a third down.
Pretty amazing. Haloti Ngata was all the way across the formation here and is going to go all the way down the line after getting off the block of Dan Conley, able to make that play. They have monsters on all three levels, superstars in the game, and Ngata, Lewis, and Ed Reed.
Ngata at 340 pounds. 3rd and 6. Brady with a nice clean pocket, and then the pass is pulled in, going down to the turf to make the catches. Brandon Lloyd has been around a long time, and they picked him up in free agency in the offseason.
And Brandon Lloyd is kind of the master of the double moves. He will give you more starts and stops and get guys turned around that time. Kerry Williams just kind of lost him.
From the 24-yard line on first down.
Ed Reed up around the line of scrimmage, and Brady's paying attention.
And over left guard goes Danny Woodhead up to the 27-yard line.
Anytime you see Ed Reed down in here, Brady starts perking up when you hear the audible being called.
That'll be losing his helmet. 2nd down and 7. 3.5 left in the quarter. And Brady, good pocket again, and this time reaching back is Brandon Lloyd. Started his career with San Francisco, went to Washington, to Chicago, to Denver, to St. Louis, and now here.
It's interesting. Did he get his feet down? Remember, there's no. Yep, he did. He got both of them down. Great play. It's the one thing about Brandon Lloyd is he makes remarkable catches. Everywhere he's been, you see him just make plays that make you shake your head, and you kind of wonder why he's not on those teams anymore. He's bounced around a little bit, though.
Now you got a timeout taken by the Ravens.
Timeout. Baltimore.
With 3:10 to go in the quarter. 10-0.
Right.
What was that? Did you just see Brady just rip Floyd?
No, I thought no. He was saying great.
Up.
He was saying great. He was saying great. Yeah. Brandon Lloyd, he and Josh McDaniels had a tremendous amount of success a couple of years ago when McDaniels was the head coach at Denver. Then McDaniels goes to St. Louis after he gets fired by the Broncos, and Lloyd gets traded there last year. Then McDaniels goes back to Belichick full-time this year, and they get Lloyd. So they made a pretty good tandem.
Yeah, what did he say? I said, what's the strangest thing about coming here? He said, well, in the meetings, I'm a guy that likes to laugh, but Belichick, he'll tell jokes, but I always wait until somebody else laughs. I'm afraid.
Go read the audience first. From the 49-yard line as Brady avoids the sack and then steps away and slides to a halt with Ngata on top of him, and Brady looks for a flag, and then Ngata gets into it with Mankins, and here comes a flag because we've just seen too much of this in the first quarter.
You got to do it. I mean, this game is going to be predicated upon who can be the most physical and who can get away with the most, and these guys know it. But if you're going to take a shot at the quarterback, just get your dukes up, because there's going to be a fight, even though that really wasn't much. And here comes Logan Mankins, the old wrestler. He was ready to go.
Personal foul. Defense number 91. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
He said 91, he meant 92. So the foul there. Harbaugh is incensed. Wants to know why there was no flag on Mankins.
Yeah, you just don't stop 330 pounds that quickly. I don't know. I wouldn't have thrown the flag. I'm going to just put it that way.
And you don't need to major in physics to figure that out either. From the 29-yard line on first down. They give it to Ridley, and Ridley gets taken down at the 26-yard line, winding up in the arms of one Bernard Pollard.
You know, just about the time, Al, you think you got figured out what they're going to do, they come out this time in 3 tight end formation over here. Then they're going to see how you're going to play that. Anytime you play against Belichick, you're going to get all these formations early in the game. There it is again.
Right.
To see how you react and see which one he wants to attack the
and
most.
All kinds of different individuals, and they use that 3 tight end leverage with a flag at the end of the play. Ridley, for the moment, picks up the first down. So they go to that leveraged side, and Ridley with Webb down. So Ladarius Webb, the outstanding cornerback, still down on his hands and knees.
Holding. Offense number 87. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Well, that one cost them the game. A hold on Gronkowski last week against the Cardinals. But this is a lot of beef over here on the right-hand side. And then they bring the guard, Logan Mankins, around.
That was Reed who was down,
here.
not Webb.
That's okay. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm with you. Reed gets back up, second down and 11 at the 30-yard line. Grady spins around, and then that goes through the hands of Wes Welker. And we've seen that before, obviously. Not too often, but we saw it at the most inopportune time for New England in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Stephen Ridley, the young man now starting at running back, does a great job against Ladarius Webb. He's a good pass rusher, put him right on his head. And Wes Welker saw that one before too.
Third down and 11.
Ed Reed's limping around pretty good out there right now too. I might take a shot at him.
And Brady throws and trying to reach back with a flag. Edelman.
That'll be interesting to see which way that one
goes.
goes.
He starts jawing with Cary Williams. Edelman already signals first down, but it's not his call.
Let's see. I thought Edelman pushed a little bit. No, they were both pushing.
Right, and Williams never turned around.
You know what this reminds me of already a little bit? The playoff game between the Patriots and the Colts. Remember how much criticism the officials got from the Colts because they felt like they were getting grabbed and held and pushed?
Offense number 11. 10-yard penalty. Replay third down.
This game is now taking that characteristic. These officials are either going to get the game under control, start calling it tightly, or it's going to be wild. It's going to be fun to watch. See, they're both, you know, there's a little bit. Edelman gave a little bit. This is crazy already. Already this is going to be crazy. You can just tell it.
Well, you've seen both coaches with high blood pressure already in the first quarter. It's third down and 21 with a minute and a half to go in an eventful opening quarter. And then it's Welker making the catch and getting the ball into field goal range as he takes it to the 30-yard line. Nada chases him down there, 4th and 12, and that will set up about a 49-yard field goal attempt.
Julian Edelman on the outside, and one of the reasons people made a big deal out of the fact that he got the start last week, one of the reasons they love that guy is he is feisty. He has been talking more trash than anybody on the field so far, and may well be in a few skirmishes before this one's done.
Mesko puts it down for Gostowski, and this one splits the middle. 38 ticks left in the quarter. New England on top, 13-0. 38 seconds left in the quarter. 13-0 New England on top. 2 field goals and the 1 touchdown set up by the interception. 24 plays to 7. And it begs the question, Chris, Baltimore would like to play no huddle, but at what point do you have to say, wait a minute, we got to settle this thing down?
Well, I played a lot of no huddle with Sam Weich in Cincinnati, and I can tell you that when you're not picking up the first down, you know, I always thought that maybe we should even just start the no huddle after we got a first down, because then you get a little bit of momentum going. But don't forget, you've got Ray Rice standing back there, one of the top running backs in the game today. You don't want to neutralize him with your own offense.
Here's Thompson, rookie free agent out of Florida. Good special teams coverage there by the Patriots, and they will start inside the 20-yard line. 2 punts and an interception off the first 3 possessions for Baltimore. Cam Cameron is the offensive coordinator, and his unit does not have a first down tonight.
This is a young offensive line for the Ravens. They've got Ramon Harewood up there playing left guard, Kelechi Osemele playing right tackle. Not a lot of time together, and these guys are tremendous up front. This front 7 for the Patriots, a little bit back to their glory days when they could really control the line of scrimmage from tackle to tackle.
Now they bring Leach in at fullback on first down. And Flacco has some time, but then throws it deep, and that's, fortunately for the Ravens, not intercepted. McCourty is there, intended for Torrey Smith, and Smith had to become, in effect, the defensive back to knock the pass away.
Yeah, a little bit of a double move by Torrey Smith, and I don't think he was expecting it because of the play of McCourty was so far in front of him. He said, no way he's throwing it to me. Why? He threw it to me and went and hustled and at least knocked the ball out of there. I think it shocked Torrey Smith more than it did anybody.
Second down and 10 from the 18-yard line to the ground. And this is Ray Rice, one of the top running backs in the league. He and McCoy at Philadelphia, 2 of the best 3 down backs. They all stay in on almost every play, and that will be the final play of the opening quarter. So we've played 1 in Baltimore with the Patriots leading the Ravens 13-0. And Sunday Night Football from Baltimore continues after these messages. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth back here. You know, we both knew Steve Sabol so well. What a showman. When he was in college, he nicknamed himself Steve Sudden Death Sabol from Colorado College, and his hometown, Possum Trot, Mississippi. He was a showman when he was 19 years old.
Just like his pop was, but boy, did he love the NFL. You know, he didn't like any of the sideshows. He just loved the game and made kids like me fall in love with it with his work.
And what a terrific guy. He was just a wonderful man. Intended for Rice on the pass. It's incomplete. Mayo covering on the play as we start the second quarter. A flag is down. It would have been a 4th down and 6. And Bruce Hermanson's crew will get it together.
There is a lot of stuff going on down the field now. I mean, there is pushing and shoving and grabbing, and this game is crazy. And the whole 5-yard bump rule is being liberally applied.
Pass interference. Defense number 51. 15-yard spot foul.
Or misapplied. 13 first quarter points, most in any game here, where the Ravens almost never lose. And that's the first down for Baltimore tonight, and it takes a penalty to get them there.
Patriots up in that cover 2 look all night. They're wanting to bang these receivers off the line of scrimmage and make them work to get down the field.
First down from the 24. Play action buying some time, and then he has to dump it off to Rice, and Rice with a nice move on the inside to spin away and get out to the 28-yard line. 4-yard gain, got away from the rookie Chandler Jones. It'll be second down and 6.
Let's take a look at some of this action down the field. We're seeing all kinds of stuff. Devin McCourty on the outside, going to get a good shot. No hold there, all perfectly legal, but there is on every snap now something going on about 5 yards down the field. Perfectly legal, but crazy.
Second down and 6, and there's Rice. Past the 40, out to the 47-yard line. The crowd loves that. A flag is thrown, however. Would have been a 19-yard gain, but was he sprung because of a hold?
Oh, Marshall Yonda right here. Going to help get that edge.
Offense number 81. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Penalty on Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, I think Anquan Bolden saying, I'm going to give them a little dose of their own medicine over here. Kind of an interesting play. They go across the formation. Yep, definitely looked like he grabbed the inside of that shoulder pad. You know, Anquan Bolden's one of those guys. He thinks he's a defensive player. He fits this team perfectly, along with guys like Vontae Leach. You want to come out and have a fist fight, these guys will be ready to go with you.
Playing a lot in the slot, but tonight he's wide. At least on this play, it's first down from the 27-yard line, or second down and 16, and the pass is caught on the run by Pierce. And Bernard Pierce, a rookie, third-round draft choice out of Temple.
Yeah, and Bernard Pierce is going to get some playing time tonight. This is not kind of a flukish thing. They really think that this young man has some ability, especially when he gets a chance to get that one cut going. Big, strong, physical runner, perfectly fit for this game.
From the 37-yard line on first down. Again to the outside. Turning the corner is Pierce, and that's about a 7-yard gain before he's taken out of bounds by McCourty.
I tell you, Kelechi Osemele is a young tackle, but he's getting the job done over here. He's getting outside and getting the block on Rob Ninkovich. Anytime you can get the edge, that's the rarest of all things against a Bill Belichick coach defense. They typically will not let you outside, but Pierce able to get there with a good block.
Pierce stays in, Leach the fullback. Second down and 3. Play action. Underneath the fullback. Leach to the 49-yard line. Fullback kind of a lost position these days, except in Baltimore, where Leach was the only fullback in the league last season to make a start in all 16 games.
Let's introduce you to Chandler Jones here, one of the top young rookies I've seen. He's already had a major impact in the first 2 games, and he's giving the Patriots that pass rusher off the edge that they really haven't had the last few years. Oh. Now, was that a true reaction?
Marshall Yonda, the right guard.
Yeah, I think they're going to call that on the offense. Vince Wilfork moved, but Yonda.
Offense number 73. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The key is, did Yonda truly react to what Wilfork did, or did he say, oh, he moved, I'm going to react? That's exactly what he did, and he got caught doing it. I think that's the right call by the officials.
We saw Yonda throw his hands up before we went to the replay as he took a look at the replay up on the board.
The reaction has to be sort of instantaneous from the defensive movement, and that was not.
Back to the 46 now. It'll be first down and 15. Rice back in the game. He gets the ball. And right to the 48-yard line. It's Wilfork falls on top of him there. That'll make it second down and 12.
Remember the game Vince Wilfork had in that championship game? He was all over the place, driving guys in the backfield. And really, between he and Kyle Love, if you can get anything done inside, congratulations. Spent a lot of time this offseason in the swimming pool, getting in better shape. And feel like Belichick said he's thinner. He's not thin.
Second and 13. And that pass is thrown behind Anquan Bolden. Third down. I wonder if we got any tips from Michael Phelps, who's at the game tonight.
I don't think he's quite that fast. But he's definitely, you can see a little bit there, huh?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, sure.
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
You know, eating a little healthier, but it's shown up in his play too. You put on the tapes and you go, wow, that's a big man moving really fast. He's plenty quick.
Third and 13. Flacco slings it to the outside, caught there, but just short of the first down. Bolden makes the grab. McCourty takes him out of bounds. They're going to spot it just outside the 40-yard line, and it's going to make it a 4th and 1.
It was close. He tried to stick that ball out and pick it up. Let's watch Chandler Jones and Michael Orr, two of the young stars in this league, going at it. Orr that time with a good reaction. You'll see Bolden at the end of this play try and stick this ball out to pick up that first down. Really didn't get credit for the extension.
And at the 40-yard line, of course, they can challenge if they'd like. But instead, a timeout is taken here.
For a measurement?
For what? I mean, you can see from here it's
the
a
ball's
yard.
on the left side of the 40 as we look at it, and the chain's on about the 39.
Well, you can request the measurement, but I mean, it's got to be close.
All right, let's see. When does he go out of bounds?
Well, the ball is well out there. I mean, it's pretty clear it's the 40-yard line. I thought the spot was good. He's going to be a yard shy of it, and it's going to set up a decision here for Harbaugh.
And the interesting rule is that as you're going at an angle for the boundary, it's where the ball crosses the boundary. If you're running straight up and down the field, then you get the full extension of the ball. You can dive out of bounds and get the full mark. But when you're running at an angle, that's not true.
Well, Belichick's so upset. He's going, come on, you can't give these guys extra time to figure out what their 4th and 1 play is or their strategy is. What are you talking? How do you measure when it's a yard?
And he's right.
Yeah,
I mean, that was as clear cut as you could have it. And now they've gotten effectively a timeout.
And be serious. I mean, you can't.
Now Harbaugh's going to challenge it. He's going to try and get that extra yard the old-fashioned way through instant replay.
There's no way, because you have to have clear evidence, and there ain't no clear evidence, gang.
The only thing Bill can't do now is get out on the field. They have really cracked down on those coaches walking out and intimidating these officials.
13-0 New England. All right, here's the call from Hermanson.
After further review, the ruling on the field is reversed. The ball will be placed at the 38.5-yard line. First down.
Well,
there was no timeout charge.
They're going to give him the reach because take a look at where his foot is at the end here.
Right there, he's going to land inside on the field of play. So the reach was perfectly legal because of where that foot is on the ground. First down. How about that?
Yes, how about that is right. At the 38-yard line. So Harbaugh wins the challenge. And Rice exploits it by taking the ball for a 9-yard gain before he's tackled by McCourty at the 30-yard line.
Now the Ravens look like the Ravens. This, to me, is how they should play. You want to go play action, that's fantastic. But you can't go play action until you establish a run. Now they're out there with Ray Rice. They're establishing a run. Now you want to try some play action. Now you've got a chance.
2nd and 1, back to Rice. Rice over left guard. Rice with a first down to the 25-yard line. Taken down by Brandon Spikes, the middle linebacker.
Big guys led by Matt Burke up front. Getting up on that second level. Vontae Leach, the big fullback, just moving Drod Mayo out of the hole. Two of their better players, two of their Pro Bowlers in there together on that play with Vontae Leach.
Flacco with time. Flacco going deep, and it's hauled in with a flag. Torrey Smith with the touchdown.
Be careful. I'm not sure they're going to get Torrey Smith for a push off here.
The flag came in. Kyle Arrington with the coverage on the play. If you missed it at the top of the game, his younger brother killed in a motorcycle accident early this morning.
I think one official might have waved off the other official and said, no, he did not push off. There was an arm extended, it appeared. But they're going to give him the touchdown. They picked up the flag.
There's no flag on the play. There's only the play for the touchdown.
What a magical moment for Torrey Smith. After all he's been through, to make a play like this in a game like this. Little extension, no push off. Great job by the officials overturning that flag. And what a moment for that young man.
Unbelievable. His head has to be spinning in 1,000 directions and winds up in the end zone with Baltimore's first points of the night, and Justin Tucker, the rookie kicker, takes the extra point. So they win the challenge. They take advantage of it. They get right back in it with 9:45 to go in the opening half. 13-7, New England. With the heaviest of hearts, Smith, who told John Harbaugh, "I want to play tonight," winds up in the end zone. It's a 6-point game. The kickoff will be downed by McCourty there. And the Patriots will begin their next drive from the 20-yard line with 9:45 to go in the opening half. And back we come to M&T Branch Stadium. At the 20-yard line, Deion Branch is in the game, and we've got a false start here with the crowd in full throat again.
Julian Edelman.
False start. Offense number 11. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Terrell Suggs hurt himself in the offseason, tore his Achilles, but he's on the PUP physically unable to perform list. They think he can be back by maybe the beginning of November.
And if he is, we're right back to Super Bowl favorite status.
Here's the fake to Ridley, and the pass coming to the left side, and that is Gronkowski, who finally gets into the action, and Gronkowski to the 24-yard line. Great tight end, had a spectacular season. Misses his alter ego in Aaron Hernandez, but Gronkowski winds up on the cover of Sports Illustrated's football preview issue. You gotta love that face. Single season touchdown record for tight ends. The ball at the 24-yard line. Here's Edelman on the end around, and he dives for a first down at the 32-yard line, angling his body for a first.
Julian Edelman, a former quarterback who runs like a tailback. He's a kick returner and a good one, and just throws his body into that first down. The effort in this game has been just tremendous so far.
3 receivers to the right. Over the middle. Looking over the middle to Edelman to the 47-yard line. Taken down there by Kerry Williams.
I tell you, Tom Brady can hang in the pocket with just about anybody. I mean, these are good pass rushers coming at him. Look, his eyes never waver at all. Slow developing play. Pick up the first down because Brady was on it.
On a draw, Brady falls down as he hands the ball off to Danny Woodhead. Crossing the midfield in the middle of that giant Raven logo. Ball now in Baltimore territory. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
You know, Brady last week I thought looked a couple of times like he wasn't particularly comfortable with his pass protection, especially off to the right side. He almost fell to the ground anticipating hits that really weren't there a week ago. This week, rock solid.
Gronkowski setting up in the slot to the right side. And they run Edelman on the end around. That is the rookie Upshaw, Courtney Upshaw, who comes around and sniffs the play out and takes it down for a big loss. Woodhead on a loss of 14 yards.
Well, when you play for the University of Alabama, teams aren't moving the ball, so they probably try and run a lot of trick plays against you. He just sat out there, Courtney Upshaw, and said, not tonight.
Woodhead tossing it to Edelman. Edelman taken down to the trick play. Doesn't turn out to be a treat, and Woodhead takes the ball to the 43-yard line. It'll be 4th and long, and in comes Mesko in the punting unit.
This game has changed, Al, and it really changed when the Ravens started running the football. Gave their defense a little breather over there. They collected their breaths. They took their good shot from these Patriots. And now this momentum is shifting.
And Mesko's kick is a beauty, and a fair catch is made at the 8-yard line by Jacoby Jones. Back comes the Ravens offense after a 50-yard boot. 13-7 New England.
Torrey Smith with that huge touchdown catch and a heavy heart. His brother Tevin killed last night in a motorcycle accident. We saw him on the field before the game. You see him during the game wiping away tears. You can only imagine what he's living right now. And yet to even be playing in this game and to make plays like that, Joe Flacco appreciates the courage of that young man, and he is a tremendous young man.
And you think about it, he finds out at 2 in the morning, so there's no sleep here. Mind is all over the place. The pass is caught here by Vontae Lee, so give him forward progress up to the 9-yard line, and we'll go down to the field to Michelle.
Yeah, I spoke to John Harbaugh before the game about this. He said Torrey was very emotional after the team chapel earlier tonight, but really has pulled himself together for everything else. And I asked him how you handle this kind of emotion on the sidelines, and Harbaugh said, I don't know. I've never dealt with a situation like this before. He said, we could, come out of this game. He could get through this, but we got to play again on Thursday, and he's got to deal with it again, Al.
Yeah, that's a good point, Michelle. They have the Cleveland Browns coming in here on Thursday night. Of course, he's got a ton of stuff to do this week as Pierce takes it up to the 14. The only thing similar to what we did in the Monday night days, Fred Gaudelli and Drew Esikoff and John Madden and I did the Brett Favre game in Oakland at the end of the 03 season, where Brett's father had passed away suddenly, and of course had a spectacular, unbelievable performance that night, and kept taking shots of him on the bench, and he's in and out of the game. He's having sinking spells, as of course you're going to have to do under those circumstances, as is Smith tonight, and somehow able to pull it together from time to time. 3rd and 4, and Flacco gets chased from behind, but his forward momentum might net him a first down as Jermaine Cunningham is able to trip him up, and not until he is able to pick up the first down.
Get that thing off their own goal line. And the one thing I always talk about with Joe Flacco is he's a much better athlete than you think. I mean, he's a big, tall guy, so it doesn't look like he's that athletic. He doesn't move. Managed to dive without getting that knee on the ground. That was a legitimate first down.
Ray Rice takes the handoff, and Rice up to the 22-yard line. Tackled there by Gerard Mayo, leading the team in tackles. They picked him #1 back in 2008 out of the University of Tennessee, and been pretty much the solid mainstay of a defense that's been good to bad. I mean, last year 31st in the league.
Yeah, he's the signal caller for this defense.
2nd down and 7. Flacco over the middle, and open is Jacoby Jones. And he gets to the New England 36-yard line before Kyle Arrington runs him down. So Jacoby Jones came over from the Houston Texans, got a touchdown last week in Philadelphia, another one called back.
It's sort of ironic, isn't it, that Jacoby Jones, who has been known to drop a few balls and a few punts when he was in Houston, probably came here because of that. They sort of gave up on him a little bit. And they said since he's been here, he's caught everything. So almost a gift for the Ravens.
41-yard reception. Flacco comes the other way. And that is Anquan Bolden coming back to make the catch. Tackled there by McCourty. And one of those fumbles by Jones was in the playoff game here last year. So the Texans bid adieu, and Baltimore said, we got a spot for you.
I'll tell you what, Ray Rice just about took the head off of Rob Ninkovich on a chip block on that one, too. What a complete player he is.
2nd and 5 now. Ticking down to 3 minutes left in the half. And Rice, the complete player he is, takes it to the 26-yard line. 5th year, came out of Rutgers, and of course he and Flacco coming in the same draft in 08.
Here's the block. How about that? A lot of running backs can run. Not many of them at about 5'8" can block like that. And one of the things the Patriots talked about with this guy is he's behind this massive offensive line, and he's so small, a lot of times he's just on you, and you don't have time to get your feet set, and he's a powerful guy, hard to tackle.
Invisible, 5'8". Here he goes again to the 20-yard line. And one of the storylines here in Baltimore was, why don't they run Rice a little bit more, especially toward the end of the game in Philadelphia. Well, they're running him tonight. He's carried the ball 11 times for 50 yards. As we will head for the 2-minute warning. Flacco looking up at the clock, and he'll wait for the next play on the other side of that 2-minute whistle. 2 minutes to go in the half. New England on top of Baltimore 13-7 on Sunday Night Football. So 2 minutes to the half. Field is cleared. It is 2nd down and 4. The ball is at the 20. New England up by 6. Play action. Going into double coverage intended for Bolden. Well covered. McCourty is back there with Gregory, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 4 from the 20.
Try to go a little out and up here, hesitate and go from Anquan Bolden. But right now we're seeing a change for the Patriots on the defensive side. No longer are they playing with 2 deep safeties. They are bringing a safety down, leaving one-on-one on the outside. Now it's up to these wideouts to beat that bump and run coverage. Now they've got 2 back now.
3rd and 4. Flacco comes to the near side. That's going to be a 1st down. Dennis Pitta, the tight end, breaking a tackle, gets away from McCourty and goes in to the end zone. Leaping over Gregory, getting away from McCourty, and Pitta, who's been his favorite target for the first 2 weeks of the season, goes in from 20 on a 3rd and 4.
I don't know if I've seen a more pathetic effort on the part of 2 Patriots tacklers than I just saw. Stephen Gregory and Devin McCourty, watch this. 1 under, 1 over, and they didn't even break his stride. That's really bad. Really bad.
Pitta's first catch of the night. Justin Tucker now to try to give Baltimore the 1-point lead, which he does. So that running game gets Baltimore back in the game at a different bit of a pace. Ray Rice and then Flacco hitting Pitta for the touchdown. And with 1:47 to the half, it's the Ravens by a point. And Tucker's kick will be returned. McCourty from 3 yards in. Out to the 19-yard line. Brady goes to work again.
Oh, Tom Brady, we talk about so many things that he does well, but for my money, this is it. The quickness of his release for a guy his size to be able to get that ball out in around 0.3 seconds. Some of the guys that are 5'9", 5'10", playing quarterback can't get it out that fast. And, of course, the mechanics of that throw way up over the top. Tough to get that ball knocked down.
Now from the 19, New England has all of its timeouts. Against the 4-man rush, the pass is behind Edelman and incomplete. Jimmy Smith with the coverage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
One of the problems that Tom Brady is having tonight is that Wes Welker is facing Ladarius Webb almost all over the field in one-on-one coverage, and he's been getting the job done, and that has allowed the Baltimore Ravens to then distribute their coverage to these other guys, taking away some opportunities.
Welker 2 catches tonight, one a big one for 59. 2nd down and 10. Again, they rush 4 on a stunt up front, and the pass is caught, and that is Gronkowski, and he'll have a 1st down up at the 31-yard line as the Patriots run up to the line of scrimmage.
The one thing that you see, though, out of this Ravens defense, they are not great pass rushers when they just rush forward. Of course, Terrell Suggs, Defensive Player of the Year, such a big factor in that a season ago.
Brady slipping to his left, throwing. It's caught. Short gain. Woodhead making the catch. Flag thrown. He's out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
Yeah, I think Ellerbe made a tackle on Gronkowski, but he didn't have the ball.
Holding. Defense number 59. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
You know, Gronkowski kind of initiating the contact down the field, running right through him. But then it was Ellerbe who grabbed the back of the jersey and pulled him down, and there you go.
Minute 7. Ball to the 36. Run a draw, and this is Woodhead. They have all of their timeouts, and with another scuffle breaking out here. Timeout is taken by New England, or that was just an official's whistle with the skirmish. I think we used skirmish enough tonight.
We over skirmished.
We over skirmished. Patriots do call a timeout. So timeout, it'll be 2nd down and 6. So the quarterback comparison, Brady got off to a hot start and 159 yards. And Flacco got off to a slow start with an interception and then another near interception, but then really settled things down. And he's 12 out of 16. So again, you're looking at two teams who went to the AFC Championship game, both figured to be contenders, but as I say, we said at the top, one of them is going to be 1 and 2, a very unusual spot for either club after this game.
Yeah, I'm going to be surprised, though, if both these teams aren't in the playoffs by the time it's all said and done here. But Joe Flacco now is getting the chance to play more and more like Tom Brady. He is really in full control of his offense in the same way that Brady can do whatever on the field, make any check, any audible. Joe Flacco can too now.
2nd and 6.
Ray Lewis coming off the edge. Yeah. And got Brady's attention there.
And Brady will go deep for Lloyd and incomplete. Williams with him step for step down the sideline. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Ray Lewis, and I think it was, Danny Woodhead. Watch this. How'd you like to have Ray Lewis coming on a little stunt off the edge here? Just good enough. I think I'd attack his knees too. They're working on Kerry Williams on the outside, but so far Kerry's been holding up pretty good down at the bottom of your screen, number 29.
And Webb on the other side has done the job for the most part tonight. 3rd down and 6. Brady has to get away and then throws, and that'll be caught and taken to the 50 for a 1st down. Woodhead gets tackled by Smith. They still have 2 timeouts. Clock still ticks. 43, 42 and going down. Brady making the call at the line. Double slot to the right. Brady pump fakes left. Going deep downfield and out of bounds. And a flag is thrown at the 25-yard line where it might be defensive holding. Brady thinks it is.
Oh, Brandon Lloyd again with a double move. Got hit about 10, 12 yards down the field. It's got to at least be illegal contact, if not pass interference. You know, Brandon Lloyd is one of these guys that runs a 4.6, so he needs a little.
Legal contact. Defense number 29. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We'll see Brandon Lloyd with a little hesitate and go. Gets Kerry Williams to stop his feet, so then he has to make contact to make up for it. There's the 5-yard line. Can't make contact after that, and this is going to be well beyond that.
In the meantime, it takes some precious seconds off the clock. They do get 5 yards. They do get the 1st down, but they're down to 28 seconds now from the 46-yard line. And that's floated and caught, and that is Deion Branch, the longtime Patriot who was cut at the end of training camp and then brought back this week. They knew they were going to bring him back. They didn't even take his stuff out of the locker when he was cut.
Well, Kerry Williams is going to come on a corner blitz, maybe the other side, and there's nobody out there to cover Deion Branch. They just basically said, if you see it, Tom, hit it.
Trying to get at least into field goal range. The ball at the 35 and over the middle and wide open is Welker. And Welker will set up a first and goal. And New England will take a timeout as the clock goes down to 13.
Boy, the lack of pass rush is just killing the Ravens right now. Wes Welker now working down the middle of the zone. Darius Webb, but he was in a zone that time, not in man coverage. And anytime you give Tom Brady 4 or 5 seconds to allow these deep crossing routes to come in there against the zone defense, there's almost always a hole in there. But typically against the Baltimore Ravens, when Suggs was here, you would not have that much time to make that throw. You wouldn't even attempt it.
So with 13 seconds left, Welker's now caught 3 for 96. Brady's thrown for 207 yards. There's Suggs on the sideline. First and goal. And they still have a timeout.
Brady pointing at Ellerbe. Looks like he's in man coverage on Gronkowski.
Brady stepping away. They get some pressure this time, and the pass is thrown out of the end zone. So now you have 7 seconds. You do have a timeout. Do you take one quick shot or not? And it appears they will.
There's Gronkowski here, and I think you're going to see Ellerbe in man coverage on him. But as we saw earlier, you've got Ed Reed sitting right over the top. A good job by Ellerbe.
So this has to be a very fast developing play. And before you have it, you've got the Ravens who wanted to take a look at that offensive set, taking a defensive timeout. So Brady knows he's got to finish whatever he's going to do in no more than 6 seconds.
Yep, and this is when you trust your quarterback, because you certainly want to be able to get out of here with the lead with a field goal in this situation. But the slightest bit of a scramble, you know, any kind of a step up in the pocket, have the guy grab your arm, any of that stuff, and the half's going to end. So this is going to be some kind of a slant, some kind of a quick throw here to try and take advantage.
So he's with McDaniels, he's with Belichick. On the other side, there's Dean Pease, who was on the New England staff for about 4 years, linebacker coach, defensive coordinator, who came here, so he would know as well as anybody what they're likely to run in this situation.
Defensively, if you can hold them up, if you can make a tackle and not allow them to get to the ground, let that 7 seconds run off, gets the job done too.
Second and goal, and Brady will fire into the end zone, caught for the touchdown. Julian Edelman got free over the middle with 2 seconds left on the clock. So they had the sure 3, but said, let's take a shot to get 7, and into the end zone they go.
That time able to get the wide out inside on Ellerbe, and that was the difference. Gronk was one thing. He did okay against him, but go against Julian Edelman, a little different story.
35 straight games in which Brady's thrown a touchdown pass. Edelman's second career touchdown reception. Gostowski's kick is good. And with 2 seconds left in the half, the Patriots are back up on top.
And we get the motion and then the crossing route inside here on the linebacker Ellerbe. Just one-on-one. He could go in, he could go out, and really that's too much to ask of a linebacker. But watch this passing lane as Brady steps up. Everybody on the ground, and that allows you to work tightly over the middle.
After the play, personal foul. Defense number 91. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
That would be Courtney Upshaw. "35 straight games. Drew Brees with a touchdown pass today. That's 46 for him. He could tie Johnny Unitas next week, and if he does that, we'll see New Orleans on a Sunday night against San Diego as Edelman goes back to the locker room, and Brees will have a shot to eclipse Unitas against San Diego on Sunday night.
Yeah, after I scored a touchdown, running back to the locker room, I might put my helmet on in that moment. These people a little fired up around here.
There it is, Johnny Unitas Back in the 50s, 47 straight games. Breeze today makes it 46. Favre had a 36 game streak. Brady tonight with that touchdown pass, 35. Or the equivalent of, in Tom's case, 2 seasons plus 3 games. That was a beautifully manipulated drive with 81 plays, 81 yards on 9 plays, 1 rush, and it was a big one for a first down. 8 pass plays, and Brady already tonight has thrown for 214 yards. And they just want to make sure this is not
Look
a
out.
long return, and Pitta has to reach up and haul it in at the 24-yard line. And that ends the half with New England on top by a score of 20-14.
Great game, though. It really is. I mean, the quality of play, the quality of these two teams, it's showing up. It feels a little like that playoff action that we're used to seeing from these guys.
And the intensity which we always find when we do a game with the Ravens, especially at home. Touchback begins here, and let's go to Michelle.
Al, I spoke to John Harbaugh at halftime, and he said this game changed for them when they turned to their running game, and Ray Rice got going. He likes that. Expect to see more of it here in the second half. And Bill Belichick, about slowing down Ray Rice, he said, look, you got to play them honest. They can run, they can throw. You just can't take one thing away from them. You got to play everything, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And Rice with 50 yards on 11 carries in the first half. Baltimore balanced. 14 running plays, 16 pass plays through the first 30 minutes. The ball at the 20-yard line as they begin with Rice with a big hole. And Rice starts the second half with a first down on a gain of 15.
Such a strange play. Gerard Mayo that time, I think, took the wrong side on this one. Here we go right here. He ends up ducking inside, and Vontae Leach, the fullback, has nobody to block. He goes on the wrong side of the block inside, and here we go.
And now without a huddle, they pick up the pace again, and this is Rice over the right side this time for a minimal gain.
Well, it is a very difficult proposition, and only the best of defenses can stop a running game like this, like Ray Rice and Vontae Leach, without bringing a safety down. And at least until they get across midfield, we're seeing the Patriots staying with those 2 guys back in the middle of the field, and the Ravens keep dialing up the runs. There it is again.
From 2 deep here on second down and 8, and Flacco is going to throw into that coverage. A flag comes in as Holden drops the ball. Kyle Arrington with the coverage, and a hold is indicated against New England. So this is going to be an automatic first down.
Holding. Defense number 24. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Arrington.
And I think the officials are taking back control of this game. Julian Edelman going back in. You could tell he was hurt a little bit at the end of the half. See if Arrington doesn't grab the back of his jersey just a bit here as he goes. Well, he has x-ray vision if he saw him grab the back of that jersey there. But you know, it's almost like the officials are making a statement early in the second half.
Play action buys time. It'll drop off down to Rice over the middle. Rice gets out to the 46-yard line for a gain of 4.
It was so interesting talking to some of the Ravens. They practiced all week because they felt like the Philadelphia Eagles grabbed and held, and maybe this is the way the NFL is going to be this year with the replacement officials and the whole bit. So they spent all week practicing getting held and getting those cheap shots, as they called them, and they've done a better job tonight.
Second down and 6. Here's Rice, and there's no question with the replacement officials that the coaches understand what they will call, what they won't call, even though there's a lot of inconsistency. So as you say, they coach them up in that manner.
No doubt about it. Watch Vontae Leach, this big fullback, going up against Gerard Mayo. This is old school, first day of training camp, one-on-one. The fullback's going to take the inside linebacker and back make a cut. I mean, this is the drill you do 100 times when you're growing up in Pee Wee football.
Third and a deuce from midfield. Blitz coming. Flacco steps away from it. Throws. Smith, who scored a touchdown in the first half, is pushed out of bounds by Gregory. So a big 3rd and 2 conversion for the Ravens on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Torrey Smith's going to make another play here coming across the formation, but for Cam Cameron, that was a big completion. Last week on their 3rd and 4th and short situations, they threw it all 6 times and didn't convert any of them. Stayed with the pass there and got it.
From the 39, again buying time with the play fake, going deep, and it's caught by Jacoby Jones, who was juggling it. They say he was inbounds, and now the officials will each confer for the moment. They're going to spot the ball at the 7-yard line. Belichick is ready with the challenge flag. The coverage is by McCourty. Does he have control and both feet in is the
There's
question.
One. No, sir. No, that one's going to come back.
And it's going to come back because one official will say, I had a better view than you did.
There was no catch. The receiver did not maintain control through the catch and ground.
Right, so Belichick doesn't even have to challenge here because they get together and get it right.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered either way. Yeah, the old, what are you guys doing? He's coaching everybody out there. And I tell you, Jacoby Jones, he puts it back in the sock. Right. I love it. He keeps it in the sock. White socks out there. Old school.
2nd down and 10. Pierce is now the running back. And the pass over the middle, and that is caught, and that is Smith. And Smith, playing with the heaviest of hearts, will set up a 1st down and goal. Torrey Smith, 32 yards, 3 catches tonight, including 1 for a touchdown.
Now they're going more to the single safety look, and they're getting one-on-ones on the outside, able to throw that little skinny post in there that they tried earlier. And for Torrey Smith, somehow his focus has been maintained through the toughest of days.
Somehow is the key word. Rice, touchdown! Ray Rice getting in behind Burke and the left guard Harewood. And the Ravens in 3.5 minutes go 80 yards for the touchdown.
Well, Dante Hightower really is going to have to get over the top a little bit better. He ends up getting caught in the wash, just doesn't react quickly at all, and allows Marshall Yanda to get up on him. He's feeling his way through this new defense, but got to be a little more explosive than that one.
Justin Tucker, the rookie out of Texas, to try to tack on the extra point to put Baltimore in front again. And the Ravens have scored 3 touchdowns on their last 3 possessions after their first 3 resulted in 2 punts and a pick. Baltimore 21, New England 20. Ray Lewis still going strong. Ravens came in 96, 3rd linebacker in history to play 17 or more seasons. Only Rondé Barber is an older defensive player, the defensive back for Tampa. Only Jack Ham in the history of the league at linebacker has more career takeaways than Ray's 50. 12 times to the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl champion in 2000.
Boy, if you like to watch football, it doesn't get a whole lot better than Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Tom Brady staring each other in the eyes.
First offensive play for New England in the second half is caught by Brandon Lloyd, and they start with a 1st down on a 12-yard gain. Williams makes the tackle. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, the Patriots are without wide receiver Julian Edelman. Shortly after coming back out on the field after halftime, he sprinted back to the locker room. He's got a hand. He's questionable, Al.
All right, we saw him, thank you, Michelle, go to the locker room, end of the half, came back out to try to start the second half, but couldn't. So the ball at the 31-yard line, and the handoff goes to Ridley, who gets out just past the 35-yard line, 2nd year back out of LSU. There's Lewis on top of him.
Yeah, Ray Lewis may have lost a few pounds here, but taking on Michael Ho'omanawanui, thank goodness, still able to get that one done. The Patriots coming right back with a little bit of that isolation football. trying to attack Ray Lewis, the smaller version inside.
I'm giving you a B+. That's pretty good. 2nd and 6, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Kellen Winslow. His father, of course, the Hall of Fame San Diego Chargers tight end, and Winslow signed this week by New England after they looked at him in camp and didn't sign him. Had been with Seattle last year, but had to bring him back with Hernandez on the shelf. 3rd and 6.
That was a big miss on his first opportunity. Brady likes him, though.
Spent more time throwing to him than any other receiver this week, so they could get it together. 3rd and 6, play clock at 3.
Ellerby's coming. Brady caught him.
And Brady just does get it away, and that's Welker, who led the league in catches with 122 last year. You had Pollard coming around the corner getting to Brady, and they've met before back in 2008 when Pollard ended Brady's season on opening day.
Brady audible because he saw Ellerby coming right up here. He checked, slid the protection that way, able to get the throw off the other way. Terrific quarterback play.
Ball now at the 47-yard line. Deion Branch at the bottom of the screen. And they hand the ball off to Danny Woodhead, who works his way up to the 50-yard line where Lewis pops him after a 3-yard pickup.
Yeah, it was Logan Mankins trying to get up on Ray Lewis that time, but he was able to beat him over the top here and get in on the tackle. Lewis really feeling like the game of football has changed. It's no longer just in a phone booth.
2nd and 7. They work the ground again, and going nowhere after a gain of 1 is Danny Woodhead. Not a right there. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
Watch the tail end of this play. Ed Reed coming in. You don't want that running back to fall forward. He's going to get him and cram him straight back.
Brady with time, 3rd and 6 to the outside to Lloyd, and Lloyd is able to haul it in for a 1st down.
I tell you, Brandon Lloyd got away with a big push there. There's just no other way to say it. On the outside, protection still rock solid. Top left of your screen, you're going to see Brandon Lloyd just give a big push off. Harry Williams went nuts.
Back to the ground. Quickly, no huddle. Woodhead takes the ball to the 36-yard line.
Here we go. Logan Mankins in the middle of another one. Was that Pollard? Sure is.
Well, Pollard, of course, with a history with New England, knocked Brady out for the season. Welker was trying to avoid him in the final game a couple of years ago at Houston, and then Welker went out with an ACL. And last year it was a tackle on Gronkowski.
Defense number 31. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic 1st down.
Tackle on Gronkowski. Gronkowski had a sore ankle, and that limited him in the Super Bowl. And the personal foul here is on Bernard Pollard.
Yeah, and Logan Mankins got a little bit of a late block, and then Mankins just backed off and said, what? It was Mankins who sort of initiated a little bit, and there are certain players in the league, let's face it, we all know who they are.
Yep.
They're a little bit of hotheads, and so you give them one little push and hope that they react like that, and that's what happened to Pollard on that one.
And the personal foul takes it to the 21-yard line, and they work the ground again to Danny Woodhead, and Woodhead picks up 3 more.
You know, it's not like the Patriots are coming up with big runs, but it's having a little bit of the same effect. You know, you're starting to see these linebackers walking up. You're starting to see a little bit of the play action working, a little bit of the playbook that we saw from the Ravens in the first half.
Keeping the defense honest. You're right on, Chris. 10 carries for 28 yards for Woodhead, so those stats don't stand out. But it does change the tempo, and it does get the defense to think differently. 2nd down and 7. Brady to the outside. That's going to be another 1st down. And that's caught by Brandon Lloyd. Another catch along the sidelines as he continues that one-on-one battle with Harry Williams.
You know, and this is exactly what it is. You described it well. Just a battle on the outside. And Tom Brady, for a guy that hasn't been around very much, Brandon Lloyd has become a bit of his go-to guy in the toughest of situations.
1st and goal at the 9. Brady with that person-to-person communication because of the crowd. And Woodhead again with some effective running over the right side, which sets up a 2nd down and goal at the 5-yard line.
I tell you, Logan Mankins every week has gotten a little bit healthier. And when this guy is good, the Patriots can be great. I always thought that he was probably the most physical of their guys up front.
Here's Woodhead again. And Woodhead will take the ball to the goal line for the touchdown. Danny Woodhead. Nothing spectacular, nothing electric on that drive, but so efficient and effective, and New England has the lead again.
Watch Mankins get the cut block on the backside, and that's what allowed this play to take off. You get a guy on the ground on the backside, that's a tough reach block for a guard. Had to get inside, got Arthur Jones on the ground, and opened it up.
"12 plays, and 7 of them were runs, including the finishing touch by Woodhead, and Gostowski to try to make it a 6-point lead, which he does. So each team has driven for a touchdown on its opening possession of the half. 27-21, New England. Steve Bisciotti, the owner of the Ravens, and Robert Kraft, the longtime owner of the New England Patriots. 2 very successful men, and their franchises have reflected it over a number of years. These teams always in contention. Ravens with the ball at the 20 when we come back on Sunday Night Football from Baltimore. And the Ravens have the ball at the 20-yard line, and a whistle before the snap for a false start. Chris, you take a look at this game.
False start. Offense number 82. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
Torrey Smith. The last 5 drives, scoring drives, 82 yards and 92 yards by the Ravens, 81 by New England, 80 by Baltimore, and just now 80 by New England.
Yeah, I told you it was going to be a defensive struggle.
Well, it wasn't for New England anyway in the first quarter when they jumped out in front and Baltimore couldn't do anything. But now the Ravens with 3 successive touchdown drives, and they begin here with play action, and Flacco just throwing it into the bench.
Well, here's what the Patriots have been doing all year this year, and their defense has really been playing much better. This cover 2 where they've got the 2 corners up, the 2 safeties back. The key is you just beat up the wide receivers coming off the ball. And certainly we've seen with the replacement officials, you can get away with a little bit more maybe than what you could do with the regular guys, but the teams are adjusting to it, and they're playing the way that it's being called.
2nd and 15. And Flacco with time, flag thrown. Smith for a big gain pending the call. The flag thrown back at the 32-yard line. Sterling Moore covering. And everybody moving up the field, indicating the penalty is against the Patriots. And it will be.
Holding. Defense number 29. A penalty is declined. 1st down.
That is Sterling Moore. And it's declined because the gain is for 37 yards.
Patriots trying to get cute here and run their safety back late after disguising up front, but Chung unable to react to it because he's going backwards so fast. So a play that would ordinarily be a pretty easy one for a safety, he just couldn't turn and make the play.
Running back is the rookie Pierce from the 47, and he gets the ball and he goes through the middle and cannot get out of the grasp of Mayo as he takes the ball to the 43-yard line.
You know, again, now the Patriots have almost admitted that they can't stop the run with 7. You know, that is something that they have been able to do thus far this year. But Joe Flacco has kept the hammer down on them. And when they've gone back to that 2 deep, he just keeps handing the thing off. And it's changed the game.
And Flacco throws, and despite that very tight coverage by Dowling, Pitta makes the catch, and another flag is down at the 42-yard line.
Now, Vince Wilfork was not happy, and Marshall Yanda may have grabbed him. Yanda got a little bit off balanced, and it looked like Yanda grabbed.
Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Correctamente.
With Reggie White, they used to call this the hump move. And he could almost throw you in the air with one arm. Get off of me. And then you really have no choice to grab something at that point. Marshall Yanda, Pro Bowler from the season ago. Good player, too, though.
6th year out of Iowa, 3rd-round pick back in 07. And then Wilfork with a tremendous career. Their 1st-round pick back in 04 in New England, 2nd and 15. Pierce, the rookie out of Temple, in the backfield, and they're going to check it down, and it's dropped out in the flat by Leach. Started to look upfield. 3rd and 15.
I think Flacco really wanted to throw this thing to Torrey Smith, but he kind of geared it down in the middle of the field instead of just ripping across there in man coverage. You know, a lot of times if it's a zone, you'll settle down, but watch him at the tail end of this. He's open if he just keeps going, but he stops, and that allows Chung to catch up, and Flacco wanted to get him the ball.
Third and 15. Flacco, time again, going for Smith deep downfield, and incomplete because McCourty is there to help break it up, and that'll make it 4th down.
Well, it's a great job by Devin McCourty. Watch the contact, push him towards the boundary. Now Torrey Smith has almost nowhere to go out here, and McCourty is in position to make the play. When you can squeeze that receiver into the boundary, it makes playing defense so much easier.
He wound up getting the inside position, but it glances off his helmet, and Sam Cook now to punt, and Welker back for New England. And there is a flag as Welker takes it from the 12. Has nothing to do with the punter. It's at the 48-yard line. It's to the line of scrimmage. It was 4th and 15. And it's a line of scrimmage infraction. It's offside. And now he's going to go over the referee Hermanson to ask Harbaugh whether he wants to accept or decline.
Offside. Defense.
I think Harbaugh wants to know where is the ball going to be spotted before he makes the call on accepting or declining here. So it's not, by no stretch will it be a first. That's 4th and 15. So it's going to be 4th down and 10. But does he want to punt again or have them take it?
Number 90. Defense lined up in the neutral zone. It's a 5-yard penalty being forced on the end of the kick.
Okay, that's the issue right there. So they'll take it, have it enforced at the end of the kick, and Brady goes to work again. Dallas, the Giants, and Philadelphia all 2-1, and Washington now 1-2. Now, when we went to commercial, the officials said they tack on the 5 yards at the end of the penalty. You can't do that, so you have to accept or decline. It's either going to be a kick again, or New England would have gotten the ball where Welker was tackled. So now Harbaugh figures he can gain a little bit more advantage. It'll be a better opportunity for Cook to pin them deeper by accepting the penalty. So here
that says exactly what I'm thinking right there.
Right.
Like, what the heck? And that's what's happening. There are full-time employees of the NFL that aren't locked out.
Right.
that are in the replay booth that are calling down when there are mistakes made.
Yep.
And so all the administrative stuff that's going on, and there are some mistakes, they try to correct it. At least give them credit for that.
Meanwhile, the 2 down boxes on either sideline went to first down for a minute. It's not. It's 4th down. It's 4th and 10. Cook the punt again eventually. And Welker back to receive it. Nose down with backspin, and Welker will let that one go into the end zone. So the ball will come out to the 20-yard line.
So they lose a couple of yards on that. Well, Tom Brady, for me, the difference has been all the time. In the huddle, when we called crossing routes, we used to always tell our offensive linemen, right, give me a little more time, and there are big holes in there. Well, that's what's happening with the New England Patriots. This offensive line has given them that extra second and a half, and these crossing routes have just been wearing out the Baltimore Ravens.
Brady last year, those 2 picks in the AFC Championship game, but the Pats prevailed tonight. 19 of 27 for 255 from the 20-yard line. And Brady slings it to the outside, and they'll begin with a first down. Kellen Winslow, 9th-year man out of Miami, son of the Hall of Famer, makes his first catch as a Patriot.
Yeah, and Tom Brady obviously looking for somebody that can take the place of Aaron Hernandez. This is a guy who was 70-plus catches in Tampa Bay. He was traded to Seattle, cut by Seattle, brought back in here to New England. They looked at him, chose not to sign him, and then Hernandez got hurt, re-signed him, and they feel like he's going to be a factor for them.
From the 32. And that's Nada making sure that Ridley couldn't get out of his tracks. Meanwhile, Gronkowski minus Hernandez tonight. They've been doing a good job on him because he's caught just 2 balls, both thrown his way. Targeted twice, caught 2 for just 21 yards. 2nd and 11 from the 21. Blitz coming, and that is Lloyd, who gets a block on the outside and gets taken down a yard shy of the first down, maybe a couple of yards shy. They'll spot the ball at about the 40-yard line.
Well, they've been coming with this Ladarius Webb blitz more often than not, and when they do, Tom Brady goes, fine, I'll throw the hot pass right out there, get my offensive line out in front. Good block by Welker as well.
3rd and 1. Ridley goes to the outside and then turns his back to the line of scrimmage and backs his way to a first down at the 45-yard line before Lewis makes the stop. 3.5 to go in the quarter.
You know, it's the one thing that Ridley does well is work the edges and also the pitches. But remember, this was a team in Baltimore that for years you didn't even try to run on the edges. They had Jarrett Johnson out there, Terrell Suggs, even Corey Redding, those guys all gone. Not quite the same defense they once had on the edge.
Brady again working the outside. That is Lloyd, close to a first down. Should have it.
In the heyday, when you have Terrell Suggs and Jarrett Johnson on the outside, you're going to see those guys squeeze down from the outside in and make it so hard to run. Watch Suggs here just get bent over and set that edge. You got to be able to keep them from going outside, but also squeeze them down to the inside. And that's what the Ravens are missing just a bit now.
From the 45. Brady dancing and throws incomplete over the middle. Had a ton of time, but the secondary did great work.
But Ray Lewis with a hold on Gronkowski.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little older and my eyesight's fading, but even I could see that one.
Holding. Defense number 22. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
There you go. Not even the officials wanted to call it on Ray.
Right.
All right, right up here is the one they actually caught. Yeah, Jimmy Smith fell down and had to grab.
1st and 10 at the 40. Here's Woodhead to the outside. Stopping the run there. You summed it up perfectly because you're talking about the Ravens stopping the run. In the history of the team going back to '96, they've never allowed the opposition 4 yards per carry over the course of the season, which is astonishing.
Yeah, right there's Kruger. This is setting the edge. This is what we're talking about here. Make sure he doesn't get outside of you, but buy a little time for the inside pursuit to get there.
2nd down and 9. 2:15 to go, third quarter. Patriots up by 6. And Brady off to the left side he goes, and that's Wes Welker making the catch. Hit hard by Cary Williams, and it will set up a 3rd down and 3.
Watch Ray Lewis right here is going to come up and hold Danny Woodhead coming out of the backfield. Just grab him around the neck. That's what the Patriots used to do to Marshall Faulk in the Super Bowl when he was trying to get out.
Crowd rises as one at M&T Bank Stadium now. Big 3rd down and 3.
Here comes Pollard down.
And over the middle, that is caught, and what a shot taken by Deion Branch, and flags. Well, you can see 3 of them right there. Ed Reed popped him. Branch takes a hellacious shot and holds on. Welcome back, Deion.
Oh my gosh. Wow, I don't know how Deion Branch smiling after that one. That's the second one that Ed Reed took a shot to the head. This is enforcing over the middle, but this is what the league is trying to eliminate. I mean, that is big time money out of the wallet right there too.
Right, and there's no catch on the play because the ball came loose, so they bring it back to the line of scrimmage and enforce it from there, and it will be a 1st down.
Wow.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't believe he's not hearing an aviary in his head right now.
That's back in the day. That is no more. And I think it's a big reason why you're seeing the passing numbers the way they are anymore, because receivers don't have to worry as much about taking a shot like that. That was considered a great play, and at least a little sportsmanship on the part of Ed Reed. He knows he's wrong. He knows the foul was justified.
I think the crowd's upset with the administration of it. I mean, they know it's a foul. You got, 4, and they're the alternate official coming in, and clearly he's in touch with somebody who really knows what's going on.
The replay guy upstairs.
Right. Hello.
That's the Bermuda Triangle now.
Yep. Ball's at the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Good hole, and Ridley picks up a 1st down as he takes it to the 4-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal on a drive that began back at the New England 20-yard line.
Boy, I tell you what, I like this kid, Stephen Ridley. A year ago with Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, he was really a pure sort of between the tackles kind of runner. But this young man, Ridley, is giving him that stretch play. He's giving him the toss play. It's really added a dimension to this offense.
9 carries for him, 36 yards tonight. 1st down and goal from just inside the 5-yard line. Whoa, look at that. As the Ravens come in, and Moss with Pollard coming in, Upshaw coming in, and talk about blowing up a play.
And Brady's going to get it as well. Watch Brady at the handoff. He's going to be involved right in the collision as well. That is just, they released everybody inside. Ellerbe just took out. Was that Mankins that he knocked down like that?
And Reed came in, and that's going to take us to the end of the quarter.
This is nuts.
Wild one in Baltimore, and it's figured to be. End of the 3rd. It's New England 27 and Baltimore 21. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Sunday Night Football, we start the 4th quarter, but back to a play that ended the 3rd.
Watch the tail end of this play. Ellerbe's going to take Nate Solder on his back, but watch now. Solder's going to kick him right in the head. That's the kind of game it's been from the very start.
2nd and goal to start the 4th quarter. Inside handoff. Woodhead starts to stumble, so he can't get out of his tracks as Webb comes up, and it will be 3rd down and goal.
They're really starting to see some attacking off the edge now. That time Bernard Pollard came around the edge, and they just simply didn't account for him. And now we have a big moment in the ball game. The Ravens defense really needs to make a play. Brady caught him, didn't he?
Yeah.
They were coming again. They're going to stay with it, it looks like.
They do, and Brady throws, and it's caught on the outside, and Walker gets hog-tied at the 2-yard line, but at least they're going to hold them to a field goal attempt. It'll still make it a 2-possession lead as Gostkowski comes in.
Boy, what a great play on the outside, but you'll see everybody coming here. But Ladarius Webb, who was really faked out on the play by Wes Welker, just ran him down and prevented the touchdown and at least held this thing to 3. Big play. I tell you, you put on the tape for just a few minutes and Ladarius Webb just sticks out.
Steven Gostkowski with a 20-yard field goal attempt, and the chip shot is good. 50 seconds into the 4th quarter. Pats up by 9 in Baltimore. So the Ravens down now by 9. 50 seconds into the 4th quarter. Danny Woodhead, a key figure in the New England attack tonight, though the stat sheet would not show that, but very effective. And the Ravens will take it at the 20-yard line. Bill Belichick, such tremendous success, obviously, since he took over in 2000. Mentioned at the top, the Patriots have not been under 500 since an opening day loss in 03. That's 145 straight games, longest streak in NFL history. That was the year they lost on opening day to Buffalo, 31-0. All kinds of crazy stories about he's lost the locker room and it's all nuts there. And well, all he did was win the Super Bowl. From the 20 now, Baltimore begins this drive with a Flacco pass to the outside and a 4-yard gain as Hightower rides Pitta out of bounds. 2nd and 6.
You know, Joe Flacco, the argument always goes back and forth and back and forth. Is he, one of the top quarterbacks, and is he ready to be a Tom Brady, no huddle kind of guy, turn the offense over to him? We saw him in Pittsburgh last year in a huge game, take his team down and win that one. Now's when you need your quarterback to really step up his game.
From the 25 now, here's Rice, and Rice for a gain of 9. I think Flacco will forever be intertwined with Matt Ryan in Atlanta in the same draft class. They've had success, each of them, but the question is, do you go get the ring at the end? Well, Ryan's team is 3-0 right now after they go to San Diego and dismantle the Chargers today. From the 34-yard line, Flacco going, and it's going to be almost intercepted as McCourty was there, and that's all he can do because he knew he should have had a pick.
Yeah. Well, Devin McCourty's had a chance here to make a sort of game changer. This one's going to be right in his hands. He had a huge rookie season with a lot of interceptions, not so much a season ago. He's going to wish he had that one back. That was pretty easy.
Like Ray Rice, McCourty out of Rutgers, the #1 pick in 2010. And Flacco dancing, gets hit as he throws, and it's caught by Bolden. He waited, Bolden got free, beats Arrington on the play, and a big throw and catch here, 24 yards for a 1st down.
Yeah, Torrey Smith opened up this whole half of the field. They really locked him down with a double team. Watch this, an over-under. They run the linebacker or the safety back underneath, and that opened up the other half of the field. Flacco with a great job of patience came off Smith and found Bolden.
All kinds of overs and unders in football, huh? Ball at the 42-yard line on 1st down. Rice Nothing happening through the middle. Second and long.
Now that's what's supposed to happen with this Patriots defense. You've got Vince Wilfork, you've got Kyle Love. I mean, that's some big guys right there, and they just want them to play the run, hang in there, get off the blocks. You make it 2nd and 9 often enough, and somebody else on the back end will make a play for you.
And Rice again. Taking the ball to the 35-yard line. And as we tick down under 12 minutes, it will be 3rd down and 3.
It's been a good battle out here between Michael Orr and Chandler Jones, the rookie, getting them backed off a little bit. And now comes some of those big 3rd downs and maybe a 4th down play in this territory.
From the 35, Flacco bouncing away, throws. Rice will be stopped short of the 1st down. The ball is at the 33. Chandler Jones put the heat on that time. And will they go for a field goal to make it a 1-possession game with the rookie kicker who's been very good, or go for it? And at least for the moment, they're going to line up to go for it. So it's going to be 4th down and 1.
And they're going to go with this big formation with Bryant McKinney. Is he going to be in the backfield? Yes, he is. Fullback. You won't be able to see the tailback probably in this formation. Bernard Pierce behind that big guy.
Will they run the play or just try to draw him off and set up a 50-yard field goal attempt? They're going to run it. And here goes the rookie, and he's going to get stuffed at the 34-yard line. Mayo and Chung coming up from the secondary, create the change of possession. So New England stops them. They get the ball. They lead by 9 with 10:50 to go on Sunday Night Football. Lewis, Reed, and Brady, the marquee names on this Sunday night in Baltimore. This drive begins with a fake toss to Bolden and then a slant caught on the outside by Lloyd. 1st down. Let's go back to that 4th down stop.
Yeah, it was the pressure by Mayo that forced Vontae Leach here and basically left Patrick Chung alone on the end of the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. But the inside pressure by Mayo is really what made that play.
1st and 10 now at the 47. Lloyd has caught 9 balls tonight for 109. Welker 6 for 120. So 2 receivers in triple figures tonight. This is the rookie Bolden, who scored his first NFL touchdown in the 1st half. Nada makes the tackle. Belichick normally with a lot of veterans on his team. This is about the youngest team that Bill has had. We asked him last night. He said, yeah, he said he'd have to think this was the youngest on balance in his 13 seasons in New England.
But I thought they needed to get younger, especially on defense. You can see the energy level on that side maintaining throughout the game.
2nd and 8. The ball is at the 49-yard line. And that is caught, and it's a big night for Welker on the 1st down to the 40-yard line. So Welker, who doesn't start last week, and that becomes a big issue in New England, and Patriots poo-pooed that, of course, and he's back starting tonight and playing a huge role in tonight's game.
Yeah, we told you about the matchup inside, so now Wes Welker is starting to make a few plays on Ladarius Webb, and it's moving the chains here.
And Brady begins to milk the clock a little bit. Ball at the 40-yard line, and Woodhead cannot get out of the backfield. That's the Ellerbe, 4th-year linebacker out of Georgia, stopping him in the backfield. The Stars tonight, as you take a look at New England, Tom Brady over 300 again. Welker with those 7 catches, and Lloyd with 9, and both in triple figures.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Aaron Hernandez was taking some plays away from Wes Welker. They're both inside slot sort of players. And now that Hernandez isn't there, Welker has that full-time role to himself.
2nd and 14. Whoa, and that's another shot taken by Branch. Jimmy Smith comes up to whack him. It was Reed who whacked him before.
Going to get another blitz inside, and Jimmy Smith read this one all the way, and before Welker could get there, his partner was taking a shot. Leon Branch probably wondering why he came back.
I'm thinking the same thing. I'm thinking, hey, I got to go back on the couch at home. 3rd and 14 from the 44-yard line. Brady sliding right and throwing, and that pass is incomplete, intended for Danny Woodhead. So it's 4th down. Ravens do their job, and in a 2-possession game, at least they'll get it back with half the quarter to go.
Yeah, and Kruger's going to force the inside pressure, and Brady had to bounce out to the right. And there just wasn't but one receiver over there, and Ravens defense, when they had to, got it done.
Zoltan Mesko, born in Romania, came to this country when he was about 12, went to Michigan, will try to pin the Ravens deep. And the fair catch is made by Webb at the 8-yard line. 7:29 left in regulation. New England up by 9. Well, a few years back, Josh McDaniels on the right was on Belichick's staff. That led to the head coaching job at Denver. He got off to a tremendous start there in his rookie campaign, but then it all fell apart and got fired before the second year was done. Then to St. Louis, and then Bill was able to bring him back and actually had him on the staff during the Super Bowl last year, and now back full time. Flacco dumps it off underneath. Here's Rice, who jitterbugs his way out to the 20-yard line before he's tackled by Mayo. So Flacco and his club down by 9, working now against the clock as well with a long field at the 20-yard line.
A lot of offense to be had, just taking that ball about 3 yards in front of you and dumping it down to Ray Rice. Obviously, the Patriots now are going to be a little more cautious. Don't want to give up the long one, so you should have maybe 2 or 3 throws to Rice before they really start getting on him.
And Flacco throwing deep down the sideline, and Smith unable to make the catch. Covered by McCourty on the play.
Almost gave it an old Lynn Swan effort on that one. Jumping up over the top and had a chance.
Flag on the play. Been a busy night for Hermanson's group.
Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Marshall Yanda.
You know, Yanda, when he gets beat, we know the MO now. He's going to give it a grab. Jermaine Cunningham inside. He's a pass rushing defensive end, sort of the Justin Tuck role, if you will. Moving him inside and get those quicker ends pass rushing against the guards who aren't used to seeing that kind of speed. He's back in there again, right in here.
Well, you saw that graphic last year, under 6 penalties a game, and tonight a dozen. Of course, that art, the decal logo on the Ravens uniforms, put there at the beginning of the year after the passing a couple of weeks ago of Art Modell, who brought the team over from Cleveland, but they left the name Browns and the records back there and restarted the franchise here in 1996. Second down and 14. And Flacco. Incomplete. McCourty is there. Gregory comes over to help. Another flag is thrown, intended once more for Torrey Smith.
Boy, that's going to get him out of the hole if that's against the Patriots. Those little 5-yard penalties, but you get the first down.
Yep, that's what you're going to get.
Defense number 32. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
McCourty.
Here we go, out here.
You tell me.
Oh, wow. Wow.
With you.
Guys, keep negotiating, will you?
First and 10. And that is caught by Jacoby Jones. And he takes it out to the 42-yard line. Tackled by Gregory. Under 6 to play. That's a 21-yard gain.
Boy, I tell you, Jacoby Jones has really added an element. Forever against the Baltimore Ravens, it was deal with the running back, Ray Rice coming back, deal with Torrey Smith, but they really didn't have that deep threat on the other side. Now they do, and he has really helped the Ravens offense.
From the 42-yard line, Flacco. Good protection again to the outside, and that's Smith on an out pattern, able to haul that ball in at the New England 42-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, they're really basically doubling Torrey Smith with the safety underneath Steve Gregory and still able to get it in there. Sign of a pretty talented young man when you can grab that double coverage and still pick up a first down.
From the 42. Out in the flat to the tight end. This is Pitta. He's tackled at the 38-yard line by Moore. And we're down to 5 minutes to go in the fourth.
And 3 points from that last drive. If they would have attempted a 50-yard field goal, would have been nice hanging on the board right now.
Second down and 5. Flacco sliding away to Rice inside the 30. Ray Rice inside the 15 to the 10-yard line goes Ray Rice, who has gained 100 yards on the ground tonight. 27 through the air here. Rice has now caught 5 for 49 yards.
Working against Brandon Spikes, who is not the swiftest of linebackers. And when you can get it back with that kind of a move.
And you've got Kyle Arrington down, so you got an injury timeout here.
Almost a hold on Michael Orr on the outside, but the protection has been good, and the defensive line of New England is getting awfully tired.
The Ravens tonight, 455 total yards. Rice has been responsible for 149 of those. Flacco's thrown for 333. You've had 842 yards of offense collectively in this game. And Arrington has to go to the bench for at least one play. Marquise Cole comes in, number 23, to take his spot. Now does Flacco target him right here?
I'd target Ray Rice again.
Put Rice on Cole.
Dennis Pitta has been a big target for him lately too.
First and goal. And Flacco floating one that is incomplete. Intended for Pitta. Covered by the safety Chung. Second and goal. .4:15 to go. A drive that began at their own 8. Again, it's an easy second guess to think, well, maybe Harbaugh should have gone for the 50-yard field goal before. Now they'd be in a position to take the lead. Instead, they still need a touchdown and a field goal. Second and goal. And Flacco will get buried at the 20-yard line. A flag is thrown. Chandler Jones, the first guy in. Kyle Love comes in second, and another penalty. We've already had 20 accepted penalties in the game.
Holding, defense number 55. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
There's 21. Spikes.
Let's take a look. You do get 5 yards for contact. Yep, looked like he got the left arm wrapped around Dennis Pitta, and it takes a huge sack off the board. Chandler Jones have been trying all day against Michael Orr, but most importantly, first down again.
Again on another 5-yard penalty. It's first and goal from the 5. Fake to Rice. Flacco gets away, and it is caught by Torrey Smith for his second touchdown.
What a catch. He's getting grabbed. It looks like he extends one arm to hold off the defender and catches it with the other.
This is just astonishing what Smith is doing in this game.
Watch this. He's got McCourty's got it. Oh, he gives a little push off there as well. Extends that right arm. That's one heck of a play. I mean, this game is like going back in time 30 years and watching the NFL. They are just battling out there on the outside. Some of them are called, some of them aren't. But the crowd takes up the chant now.
Oh, yeah, they chant Torrey. That's 6 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. An unbelievable performance by Torrey Smith. And it's back to a 2-point New England lead with 4 minutes to go. (30-28) New England. And the kickoff results in a touchback. Well, we've talked about this a lot tonight, but for those of you who joined us late and don't know, Torrey Smith's brother, his 19-year-old brother, was killed in a motorcycle accident at 2 o'clock this morning. So, of course, he gets the phone call, has to deal with that, tells John Harbaugh, I do want to play tonight. Of course, they left it up to Torrey what he should do. There he is, and we talked about his brother Tevin and the fact that Torrey, as he was growing up, was pretty much a dad to his younger siblings. Was out on the field before the game tonight, eyes completely red. Plays tonight, 6 catches, 2 touchdowns. Amazing. From the 20-yard line on first down. Swing pass is dropped by Ridley. Best possible result for the Ravens, not only incomplete, but it stops the clock at 3:57.
Well, and the other thing is they've got Rob Gronkowski in blocking now. Here is a record-setting tight end, and because of all the pressure that the Ravens have been bringing, they basically now have just said, we got to run him inside and just help block.
2nd and 10 out of the empty backfield.
They got a problem on this one.
And Welker to the 31-yard line. Tackled by Pollard. And again, it's Wes Welker having a tremendous night.
Bernard Pollard was trying to scream at his defensive backs. He said, there's nobody over here. We've got a guy that led the NFL in catches last year, and nobody guarded him for a giveaway first down. They just screwed up the scheme.
8 receptions, 142 yards, and now they can go to the work on the clock. Looking ahead, the Ravens, though, with holding their timeouts, plus the 2-minute warning. Toss to Ridley. Blocking out in front. Good penetration, sifting through the trash is Upshaw to stop him for a 2-yard gain. 2nd down.
Boy, I tell you what, that's good hustle by the rookie right there, coming all the way across the formation, basically unblocked and able to get in on that tackle. It's the kind of athleticism they were hoping they drafted and they got.
2nd down and 8. Harbaugh hoping for a stop here so he can take the timeout, preserve the other 2. Got all 3 remaining. Clock milked all the way down by Brady, and then he throws, and that is incomplete, intended for Lloyd, so they don't have to use a timeout. The clock stops at 2:28, and upcoming is a huge 3rd down.
Well, I tell you, Gronkowski and Ray Lewis are going at it. Watch coming down here. Ray kind of wraps his arms around him, no call. You want to know why this game's gone crazy? Because you can get away with plays like that. That's just the way the game's been tonight.
Get away with a lot. Some stuff you can't get away with at all. 3rd and 8. And that is picked off at the 41-yard line, but a flag is thrown. That's Ladarius Webb taking it away from Welker. And who are they going to call this one on? It's going to be against the Ravens. The way they're responding.
We talked about it all night. That was the key matchup.
Defense number 21. 5-yard penalty, automatic First down.
Well, there's that little itty bitty 5-yard penalty that results in a first down the other way for New England.
Illegal contact. The key is how far down the field. 5 yards, you got to release him. But they didn't call hold, they called illegal contact. And I thought he let go at 5 yards. Well, this game has been just all over the place downfield. Little ticky-tack things that don't look like fouls. Tackles on receivers that aren't called. It has been crazy.
What else is new? It's the 11th first down by penalty in this game. 11 from the 37-yard line. And this is Ridley, and he's going to take it to the 40-yard line. Another flag comes in. 22 accepted penalties, 176 accepted yards. We're trying to behave ourselves, I got to tell you.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense on the bench. 15-yard penalty for the end of the run.
John Harbaugh is saying, I was trying to call timeout and get your attention. The NFL cracked down on coaches coming out on the field this week and trying to intimidate these refs. You know Harbaugh was still worked up over that last call. Comes out there, who knows what he was doing. He's claiming he was trying to call timeout. The official wasn't buying it. He's begging the official to come over and talk to him, and instead he got a flag. He's saying, I'm trying to call timeout.
That's the loudest manure chant I've ever heard.
Now, if they had called a hold on Ladarius Webb, I would have bought into that. He did grab the jersey, but illegal contact is a different foul.
From the 45-yard line on first down. They have to take a timeout here in a hurry, and they will, I'm sure, as Ridley gets tackled by Lewis. And let's go back now to the call on the Welker play.
Here we go. Going to get a little jersey grab in here. I think he's going to release, though, at right about the 5-yard marker. Right there is the jersey pull, but that would be pass interference. What they called was illegal contact. Right. So either they made the wrong call on the field or they messed it up.
I've lost track.
It's been fun.
Well, yeah, in a way.
This is like sort of backyard. Let's just go at it with two great teams, but it's been all over the place. And really, the other foul that of consequence was the one on McCourty on the other side that didn't look like much of anything at all that kept that drive alive going for the Ravens.
And you called your neighbors in to officiate. No 7-second delay on that one. Second down and 9 from the 44. And the Patriots take a timeout.
Timeout. New England. Their first charge timeout.
But you know, this is the kind of game, Al, that these two teams practice for. I mean, they literally practice for this style of game, knowing based on what they've been seeing in the last couple of weeks. The officials were going to let some things go, not other ones go, and so they worked on getting fouled in practice.
Yeah, it's crazy, though, and in the long run, and, you're right. I mean, we hope something gets done, and who knows who's right or wrong in this labor dispute, but it is getting to the point of it being pretty ridiculous.
It is indeed, and you hope that for the good of the league that it gets resolved. I mean, no offense to these guys.
Right, they're trying their best.
They're doing their best, but they're not qualified to do this job.
Right.
They're really not. I mean, that's become fairly obvious as we've gone along.
Right. Second down and 9 with the ball at the 44-yard line. And Brady's going to get sacked. Holds on to the football. Nada and Ellerbe come in there for the sack to make it a third and very long, and they're going to wind the clock now, and Baltimore will not take its timeout on this side of the 2-minute warning. So they still have 2. We come to the 2-minute warning, and we third down and 16 when we come back to a 2-point game in Baltimore. So before we go to the 2-minute warning, they had wound the clock after the sack. The stadium clock went to 2 minutes, but the Ravens had called a timeout. So they put 6 seconds back on. We're not to the 2-minute warning yet. 2:06. Baltimore has 1 timeout plus the 2-minute warning. And upcoming now is a third down and 16 from the 49-yard line. Crowd roaring and stomping, and Brady nearly gets sacked but gets it away, and that pass is incomplete. Paul Kruger put the pressure on, and that stops the clock with 2:01. So another good break for Baltimore, because they're going to get the 2-minute warning, still have a timeout on the other side, and get the ball back.
The double pressure here essentially meant nobody had Kruger coming off the edge. Brady just getting rid of it. And now here you go, Joe Flacco. Looking for those moments that define your career. This will be a pretty good one for a 2-minute drive.
And Mesco with a very short kick. Fair catch call for it, made and then dropped and then recovered by Jacoby Jones. Ooh, they've seen that before in this town, but when he was wearing a Houston Texans uniform. 1:55 remaining. Flacco and his team down by 2. Bill Belichick, since joining the Patriots in 2000, 110-5 when leading by 9 points or more in the fourth quarter.
Well, Marshall Yanda with a big responsibility at right guard. He has Jermaine Cunningham. He has to hold up.
So Flacco on first down. And it is Jones adjusting and making the catch. Jacoby Jones up at the 45-yard line. 24-yard game. Baltimore with 1 timeout. On a best-case basis, they'd run it all the way down and kick a field goal to win it. A minute and a half to the outside, and that is caught, and out of bounds goes Dennis Pitta after a very short game. Their field goal kicker is the rookie Justin Tucker. There's Belichick exercised on the sideline, and here's what he's angry at.
Let's see, did Jacoby Jones do anything wrong on this one? Nope, didn't look like it. Great play.
Second down and 7. Flacco hanging in there, and then to the outside again, and that catch is made by Dennis Pitta. His number 1 receiver coming into the game. They're already at the 35. The free agent kicker, Tucker.
Big year so far, 6 for 6. Made kicks of 48, 51, and 56 last year, replacing Billy Cundiff, who of course missed the kick that could have sent the Ravens to the Super Bowl a year ago.
3 long ones last week in Philadelphia. From the 35-yard line on first down. Inside give and going nowhere this time is Ray Rice.
Now obviously you're playing 2 roles here. You're playing against the clock. You don't want to give Tom Brady another shot. Yep. But I don't want my game-winning field goal to be from 50-plus yards either. You got to think we've got to gain at least another 15, 20 yards.
10 or 15, but they're going to massage the clock here, and on second down, that's incomplete.
Whoa.
Intended for Bolden. And Arrington back there and fell down on the play. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Arrington, if he stays on his feet, is going to catch this one like a fair catch. 24 coming down the field. Just loses his balance. That thing is coming right down to him. And he just got bitten by the carpet bug. Wow.
3rd down and 9 with the ball at the 34-yard line. From the gun. 4-man rush. Going down the right side again, and that is incomplete, but here comes 2 flags in. And Jacoby Jones knows it's going to be against McCourty.
Kind of justice, isn't it? for Jacoby Jones a week ago in that game. Got offensive pass interference called. Major controversy over that.
Defense number 32.
And now the Patriots just let the Ravens walk into the end zone.
We saw that in the Super Bowl, didn't we?
We certainly did.
McCourty, arm draped around, absolutely no question about that one. And Joe Flacco is getting it done.
At the 7-yard line with 46 seconds, Patriots have 2 timeouts, and all he's going to do is just go down at the 9-yard line.
You know what's so interesting about this, though? Justin Tucker is a guy that they were worried about. They didn't know if they wanted to make the call, didn't know if they wanted to take him or not, because he never really had to make that big pressure kick in preseason. They're getting ready to find out all they'd ever want to know about him.
And the Patriots have their 2 timeouts, but it barely matters at this point. They elect not to use them. It'll be 2nd down and goal. They're going to let the clock tick all the way down. And the game is going to end one way or another with a Justin Tucker field goal attempt out of the University of Texas.
You know, I understand the strategy. You want this to be the last play. But I also, there's a little piece of me that says I wouldn't mind this being down to about 7 or 8 seconds, just
Correct.
in case
Bad snap,
I
bad
bobble
hold.
the snap.
You bet.
And then you can sort of throw that one away and take another shot.
Yep.
Instead, they go down to 2 seconds.
Yep. No margin for error. At least if there was a bobbled snap, you could still take your timeout. Now it's all or nothing.
And now we get the whole timeout game going here. If
Sure.
Belichick so chooses.
27-yard attempt. Does Bill call the timeout just before the snap? Cook to hold it. Morgan Cox to snap it. And there's your timeout call by New England.
Yeah, on the field, the players called the timeout.
Timeout, New England.
899 yards of offense tonight. 24 penalties in the game. Torrey Smith, just an incredible performance under the circumstances with 6 catches, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. Moment of silence for his brother in the stadium before the game. And now the Ravens try to win a wild and crazy one. Justin Tucker for the win. Whoa, baby! Oh, just good. And the Patriots are saying no.
Oh, Wilford
no.
can't believe it. Wilford took his helmet off and went screaming right for the official. This one goes high over the upright and was really close.
Well, I'll tell you what, the uprights extend through the heavens. So if you kick it over the top of it, it's good. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. You can't.
Nobody had a better view of it than that official, looking straight up the upright. Wow.
So there are no doinks in the stratosphere. That is good.
Torrey Smith, congratulations, my friend. What a performance. What a game.
Patriots think it's no good, but it is good. And Baltimore goes by the thinnest of margins to 2-1. The Patriots are under 500 for the first time in 9 years. Oh boy. Well, that's a few bucks.